What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a DIY auto top off the safe way. That way you're not electrifying your water with high voltage. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running a pump and a float switch that's going to be running 12 volts through the float switch, and the pump is going to be able to run on regular 120 AC current. So the parts you're going to need for this is a step-down transformer. This one is the input is 120 volt and the output is 12 volt. So this is the input side, this is the output side. This is the side you're going to be hooking up to, this is the side here we're going to be hooking up to our float switch. So you're going to need the step-down transformer. You're going to need a relay. A simple relay. This one is oh shit, what is this one? I think this one's a single coil. It's a double throw switch. So you just need something like this, something simple, single throw relay. You're gonna need a pump, obviously, and you're gonna need a float switch. Tools you're gonna need are wire strippers and crimpers. Some connectors, a razor blade, screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips, some Jap wrap or electrical tape. I'm going to choose to solder my connection, so I got my soldering iron and solder. And for the purpose of the video, just to show you how this relay and transformer works, I got my multimeter here and I'm going to walk you guys through it. The step-down transformer I'm using is just from an old light fixture I had for under the hood. So that's what I'm using, and I already took it apart. As you can see here, I took the transformer out. That way I'm ready to work on it. So if you have a transformer like this, the first thing you want to do is take it apart, pull the casing apart, and pull your, it's not even in view, pull your transformer out. Now I'm going to be using this box again to house the transformer, and I'm going to put this together. That way we're only using one plug, instead of having two separate plugs, having to plug the pump in and having to plug the transformer in. So that's what we're going to do with this. The relay is more than likely going to be sitting outside the box, as I have a project box, but I can't find it. So that's what we're going to do for now, but it'll be a good visual. So anyways, stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to do my best here to keep everything in camera view. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our transformer wiring. Now we're going to be working on the 24 volt side first. So this is called a step-down transformer for the very reason of what it's doing. It's converting 120 volts to 24 volt, which is a safe current. Well, I'm sorry, 24 volt, 12 volt, which is a safer, much safer current to run through water, and definitely salt water. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip the wires ends here, and we're going to be working with the relay. So just to show you how the relay works, what I'm going to do is I'm going to energize this transformer real quick. Now this is where I've got to throw the warning in, is this transformer is going to be hot with live power, so we're going to kind of keep that away from me. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the plastic, even though wood is not a conductor, we're still going to do it. Alright, so the transformer is now energized. So now we're running 24 volts. So just to, so you guys can hear it, I'm going to go ahead and energize the relay real quick so you can hear it switching. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if you guys are hearing that switch. What that's doing is we're energizing the coil, which is down in here, and the coil is getting energized, creating a magnetic force, which is, there's an iron core in here that's pulling contactors in together, creating contact, which is going to give us power for our pump. Hope that made sense. So I'm going to go ahead and de-energize this. Now, I've unplugged the transformer, but there's still power in there. This is why you need to be really careful with transformers. So I'm going to go ahead and de-energize it right now. You'll see it's unplugged and it's still going to have power. There you go. So now the transformer is safe to handle. It's completely de-energized. You guys, if you do plan on doing this yourself, I just cannot stress it enough how careful you need to be with electricity. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to find these right here, and we are going to take and wire in our float switch. Now, just for the purpose of the video right now, I am going to solder all these connections together, but for right now, I'm going to twist them just to show you how the float switch works for the relay. And so, oh shit, these aren't crimpers. So what's going to happen with the float switch, I'm going to see if this will even work first without crimping it. So what's going to happen with this float switch is it's going to act as an interrupter to the relay. Once the float switch comes down, it's going to send a current to the relay, energizing it with the 24 volts on the relay, which is going to energize the electromagnet again. So again, I hope that makes sense. And let's see if I can at least get this to work so I can show you how the float switch is going to work. I hope I have the right float switch too, by the way. We shall find out. Alright, so let's see, our float switch is in the up position. I'm going to go ahead and energize the transformer again. Now, the relay didn't click over, but when the float switch comes down, you're going to hear the relay pop. Alright, so here's our full line. Okay, now these are going in the trash. Jack wrap out of the way. Alright, so now we got a pump, and what I'm going to do is normally when people hook these up, they plug the pump in independently into a socket, and then they splice one wire out and they hook it up to the relay. I'm going to be hooking the pump up to the 120 side of the transformer. That way we have one plug. So that's off. I'm going to use my razor blade to split the wire a little. Okay. And I'm going to splice this. I'll splice it. Strip it. This I'm going to split. I'm not going to cut this wire. You can see there. I don't know if you can see it right there. Let's run the wire in one of these wires and solder it together. Okay, so now got the pump wired right in with the 120. And I split it. I'm going to choose it to run on the relay. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to tangle myself first. Okay. I can already tell I don't have enough 24 volts, so I'm going to have to end up cutting this and extending this line for the float switch. So the float switch I'm going to need to add wire to. Not long enough. But the relay I want it to be close, so maybe I'll take the relay wire. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this wire and splice it. Strip a little too much. Alright, sorry about that. Where were we? I forgot I had somebody coming over to buy stuff. Oh, seriously, where was I? What was I doing? I forgot what I was doing. That's soldered, okay. Why did I solder it like that? Oh, I soldered it like that for a reason. I lost track of what I was doing. Okay, I think I'm hooking up to relay right now. Yeah, that's what I was doing, hooking up to relay. Our water level's dropping, and the float switch drops. Pump's running. And we're only running 12 volts through the float switch, which is very safe for submersing. A lot of people will just wire in a float switch right into the pump. That's 120 freaking volts running through your tank water. That's retarded. So we got a safe 12 volts if this thing ever decides to ground out. Okay? Let's de-energize. De-energized, okay? So there we go. Now all we're going to do is just going to button this up. Alright, so here is our auto top off all buttoned up. Okay, here's our transformer device and relay. I just wrapped it all in electrical tape for right now. I'm going to put it in a box if I can ever find my project box. And as you can see, we have only one power cord to operate the whole system. So let's go see this thing in action. Alright, so here it is, guys. Got this little 2.5 gallon bow front filled up. I am going to have to bring this 120 volts close to the water because my line is too short. Oh, I'm giving it twice. So let's go ahead and get this thing going, try to get it going again. So you can see here, I got my float switch in the water. It's in the off position. Let's go ahead and energize this puppy up. Alright. So so here we go. We got our water level, and let's say it drops, so I'm going to simulate it by lifting up on the float switch, and we'll see the pump turn on. And then once it reaches its level, float switch goes up, pump is off. And there's 12 volts in the water, as you can see here. I got my hands submerged, I'm not worried about anything. I'll pull the float switch down. I'm not getting electrocuted, so we're good. We're running 12 volts through the float switch, and we're using one power wire. And that's how you do an auto top off, running 12 volts through the float switch instead of 120. Now, I know some people might have an issue with me running the pump directly in series here with the transformer. I didn't lose much power through that, so I'm not really worried about it. This isn't a high amp draw motor, so I'm not too worried about it.